Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Dr. Bahir Fuad. The subject today is the evil influence of Satan on man. Satan gives us promises, but all his promises are lies. His goal is to deceive us and to misguide us from the straight path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. في سورة إبراهيم, Prophet Abraham, chapter 14 in the Quran, ولما قضي الأمر وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم. Satan will say when the matter is all settled, Allah gave you a promise of truth and I promised you, but I failed in my promise to you. وما كان لي عليكم من سلطان إلا أن دعوتكم فاستجبتم لي. I had no authority over you except I called on you and you responded to my call. فلا تلوموني ولوموا أنفسكم. Do not blame me, blame yourself. ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي. I cannot help you and you cannot help me. إني كفرت بما أشركتموني من قبل. I reject that you made me on par with Allah. إن الكافرين لهم عذاب أليم. Those who reject faith will have a grievous punishment and chastisement. Chapter 14 in the Quran. So there are important concepts in this verse in Surah Ibrahim. One of them is Satan promises are deceits and lies. Second, his real goal is to deceive us and to misguide us from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Third, he cannot help us and his helpers and followers cannot help us and will distance themselves from us on the day of judgment. Number four, Allah's justice is perfect, reward for the righteous, punishment for the wicked. And the last thing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects his righteous servants from the evil influence of Satan. So the first important concept is all the promises of Satan are lies. In this verse it said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعْدَ الْحَقِّ وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ. Allah gave you a promise of truth and I gave you a promise, but it was a lie, I failed you. Also في سورة النساء chapter 4 in the Quran, يعدهم ويمنيهم وما يعدهم الشيطان إلا غرورا. He gave them promises and give them false hopes and all his promises are lies. Chapter 4 in the Quran. Second important concept is Satan's goal is to deceive us and to misguide us from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال فبما أغويتني لأقعدن لهم صراطك المستقيم. Because you have left me to stray, I will be in waiting for them on your straight path. ثم لآتينهم من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم وعن أيمانهم وعن شمائلهم ولا تجد أكثرهم شاكرين. Then I will come to them from before them and from behind them, on the right, on the left, and you are not going to find most of them grateful or thankful to you. الآية في سورة الأعراف chapter 7 of the Quran. And وفي سورة صاد قال فبعزتك لأغوينهم أجمعين إلا عبادك منهم المخلصين. By your glory I will tempt them, all of them, except for your chosen righteous servants. Surah Sad chapter 38 in the Quran. وفي سورة فاطر إن الشيطان لكم عدو فاتخذوه عدوا. Satan is an avowed enemy to you, therefore treat him as an enemy إنما يدعو حزبه ليكونوا من أصحاب السعير. He is calling on his cohorts in order to be companions in the fire. Surah Fatir, originator, chapter 35 in the Quran. Third important concept is that Satan and his cohorts and helpers cannot help us, will not help us on the day of judgment. On the contrary, they will distance themselves from us. وبرزوا لله جميعا فقال الضعفاء للذين استكبروا إنا كنا لكم تبعا فهل أنتم مغنون عنا من عذاب الله من شيء قالوا لو هدانا الله لهديناكم سواء علينا أجزعنا أم صبرنا ما لنا من محيص. They will come forward before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who were weak and followed the followers of Satan, the helpers of Satan, will say to them, we followed you, are you going to help us from the punishment of Allah on this day? They will say, if Allah guided us, we would have guided you. It doesn't make any difference whether we suffer or whether we hope. Allah has given his verdict on us. We are all going to suffer. Al-ayah fi Surah Ibrahim, chapter 14 in the Quran. And in this next verse, فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not blame me, blame yourselves. I cannot help you, you cannot help me. I reject your faith in me, and the wrongdoers, those who wrong themselves, their own souls, will have a grave punishment and suffering. Surah Ibrahim, chapter 14 in the Quran. Now, the next important concept is Satan is an avowed enemy to man. He is jealous of man because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored man over him and ordered the angels to prostrate to Adam. قال, Allah said, ما منعك, he said to Satan, what prevented you, ألا تسجد, not to prostrate, إذ أمرتك, when I gave you an order. قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. He said, I'm better than Adam. You created me from fire, you created him from mud. وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس قال أأسجد لمن خلقت طينا. We ordered the angels to prostrate to Adam. They all prostrated except for Iblis. He said, how shall I prostrate to a person that you created him from mud? قال أرأيتك هذا الذي كرمت علي لئن أخرتني إلى يوم القيامة لأحتنكن ذريته إلا قليلا. He said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you give me respite until the day of judgment, I'm going to sway and deceive most of them except for only few people. Al-ayah fi Surah Al-Isra, Night Journey, chapter 17 in the Quran. And the last important concept is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects his righteous servants. Fi Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17, إِنَّ عِبَادِي لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانٌ وَكَفَى بِرَبِّكَ وَكِيلًا. You have no authority over my servants. Enough is your Lord as a guardian and a protector. And في سورة الأعراف وإما ينزغنك من الشيطان نزغ فاستعذ بالله إنه سميع عليم. If an evil thought of Satan assaults you, seek protection on Allah, for Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing. إن الذين اتقوا, those who are righteous, إذا مسهم طائف من الشيطان, when they find that Satan is attacking them, assault them, تذكروا, they bring Allah to remembrance, فإذا هم مبصرون, lo and behold, they can see everything clear. So to summarize, there are several important concepts in this verse in Surah Ibrahim. One of them is that all the promises of Satan are lies and deceits. Second, the real goal of Satan is to deceive us and to misguide us from the straight path of Allah. Third reason is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps and protects his righteous servants. Fourth, that Satan cannot and will not help us in our accountability to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last concept is Allah protects his righteous servants from the evil influence of Satan. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه وادعوه إنه سميع قريب مجيب الدعاء. If you feel that this was useful and important, please tell others about it in order to spread useful knowledge about our faith of Islam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.